Okay, in this video I'm just going to talk a bit about cursing. We have got a few questions come in post-appointment really from people that are slightly confused about the concept of cursing and where curses come from and who sent them, and obviously how we work and how we actually clear cursing. So if we just start at the beginning, so if I just explain basically what a curse is effectively. So a curse is like a negative stream of energy that is sent to you from someone. So it can be in a couple of ways, I guess, really. So if someone dislikes you a lot and they think about you a lot and you're in a sort of disharmonious relationship with them, so they're thinking about you and they're kind of cursing you in their mind, saying negative things in their mind about you, then of course this builds up like a negative stream of energy inside them, and eventually that stream of energy is sent to you. So your etheric field basically has this energy stream that hits it, and it kind of runs around the outside, and normally it doesn't really have doesn't really do too much from a negative perspective to you. But of course, if people are continually sending you negativity and thinking about you in a negative way, or if someone has invoked a professional, so someone that practices witchcraft or voodoo, or sends spells or curses, then of course these types of people not only send negative streams of energy to you, they also work along with negative spirit or negative entities, and basically that level of negativity is kind of augmented and increased and is then sent to a person. And when this negative stream of energy continues to hit your etheric field, eventually it starts to wear you down, as you kind of expect really. So at that point you can become fatigued, tired, and lots of people talk about sort of mental confusion, can't really get their thoughts particularly well. And then of course the other thing is things start going wrong in your life, so you start to suffer quite a lot of bad luck. And many people realise that the bad luck is down to the fact they've been cursed. But of course, without knowing how to break the curse, then there's not that much you can do. So the way that we work, I obviously work with my guide Chen and his team. So the first thing we do when we connect to a client when we're looking for a curse is we look at the etheric field, and we can see if a negative stream is hitting that etheric field of a client. And if it is, we basically break that stream of energy and we put the client in a protected bubble of light effectively, which I kind of see happen when my guide's done that work. And then that negative stream is basically reflected back to the perpetrator, so back to the source. So that way it's kind of it's a defensive mechanism that we employ. So we don't actively, aggressively become offensive towards someone and attack, which many people do in the occult world. The way that we work is we just put someone in a protected bubble of light and just allow that energy stream that's been sent to you to be reflected back to the person that's sending it. And very quickly, of course, the reverse happens. They realise that their life starts to become negative. They start to feel probably unwell, fatigued, start to have mental confusion, etc. And of course, if they are sending curses and negativity, they realise that basically they're getting back what they're sending out, and they tend to stop. So we've found over the years that this is the best method. So rather than working in an offensive way to try to actually send somebody negativity back, it doesn't really work from a spiritual perspective. It's not the way that we work at all. And so another question, I guess, really is the kind of karmic aspect. So if we put you in a protected bubble of light and that negative stream that someone's cursed you with is reflected back to them, there's no karmic debt to pick up from your perspective, because you're not actually offensively doing anything apart from protecting yourself. So there is no problem from a karmic perspective. And that's the way that we tend to work with curses. So once we've blocked that curse, the stream is reflected back to the perpetrator. There's nothing else you need to do from a client perspective. And also we tend not to trace the source of the curse, because it takes time to do that primarily. And secondly, of course, if you know who's cursing you, then people we found in the past, people then start to think negatively about the person that cursed them in the first place, and then you end up cursing somebody else, and effectively you will pick up karmic debt for doing it. And of course, potentially you then reap your own negativity, which is no good either. So the way that Chen and his team work, he doesn't tell me where it's coming from. He just says that they found X number of streams of energy, they've been intersected basically, and then obviously reflected back to the person that's sending them, and we find that works really well. So hopefully that answers most of the questions that people tend to have sort of after an appointment about cursing.